all the batch of 2020, I'll start with you. Why don't you introduce your name and just tell us your current status in the sense, if you are employed, if you are looking for an opportunity, if you have gotten an opportunity, you don't need to mention any organization's names, but you can just go in with introducing yourself and your current state. We'll start with Namita.
Hello everyone, I'm Namita Singh and I'm currently employed as a product specialist right now.
Hi everybody. First of all, hope you're all safe and healthy at your home. My name is Priya. I have graduated from Department of Management Studies, IIT Madras. I'm currently working as an associate sales representative with Cisco Systems. I joined on 27th July only in a virtual onboarding meeting.
Hello everyone, I'm Garima. I've recently graduated from Indian Institute of Management, Tiruchirappalli, and I'm waiting for my joining for now.
Yeah, hi guys. Hope everyone is safe. This is Deepak Pandey here. So I have graduated from IFMR Graduate School of Business this year, and I'm working as a marketing manager at Siemens for the South region. It's been 3 months in the organization.
Hi everyone, my name is Avanti Deshmukh. I recently graduated from Xavier Institute of Social Service, Ranchi, and I am into the system for about 3 months now, and I am employed, and I've been working as the representative for HR, which we call BPM.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rahul Pan, and I have graduated from SIBM Pune with an MBA in marketing. Currently, I am working as a management trainee at a leading life insurance firm.
Hello, everyone. I am Sankalp Nandanwar, MBA graduate from the one-year MBA program of IIM Bangalore, and currently I am waiting for my joining with a strategy consulting company.
Okay, super. So this is our batch of 2020. Now with this, we will move on with the industry leaders. Dheeraj, do you want to just go ahead and introduce?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this session. We hope to learn from each other and co-create some hope and empathy, like Ankita mentioned earlier. So I have been working in the industry for more than 17 years now, and I've seen various ups and downs, which I believe were ups and downs. All right, everybody has a perspective on that. So I'm right now working as a senior director for a leading IT firm. I took the cue from you, Rahul. I think that's a good way to introduce. Yeah. The reason we are doing this is because we do not want to represent organizations here, and we would like to take a individual point of view and have a conversation around industry rather than focusing on anything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Sangeeta, do you want to just introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, folks. So I'm Sangeeta, and I have about 25 years of experience in the corporate, and this is a very new phase for all of us. So what I would just like to say is this too shall pass, because I think everything is a temporary phenomenon. So we just have to wait. Our patience is definitely getting tested, but we'll have to just learn to see how to overcome. And I'm positive that there's brighter times waiting for us at the end of this. So yeah. And these things are, to be honest, it's not the first time it's happening. It has been there in the past as well. The economic slowdowns, recessions, and other things. Of course, this is a very different sort of a thing, and I think that just goes to prove that we are definitely in the VUCA world. So we'll have to just turn it around and give it our best to see how we can transform things together.
Absolutely. So now the next question I want to ask the audience, people who have joined. I see a very versatile crowd here. So in case you have to explain the current situation in maybe just using 2 to 3 words. I want to understand from the audience, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? So go ahead and use the chat box and just put it in the sense, what are you feeling? Like, what is the mood of the audience? I just want to understand that first. So go ahead and use your chat box and just type the word.
I think, the pause that I see, I just feel like filling the pause. Ankita. So while they're thinking, I think the state that they are right now, I think that's what the state is.
Yeah.
We are all a kind of blank. We do not know where we are headed to.
Right.
We don't know where there will be medicine. If the vaccination comes, will it come to India first or go to US first? So, so there are a lot of speculations, and there's no one emotion that will describe this whole damn thing that's happening.
Correct.
And I think while people are thinking and bringing up things, right, hopeful, negative, okay, whoever is negative, I want to have a chat with you. Yeah. So am I, by the way. So am I. Okay. I'm not so. I don't think positive, negative is right or wrong. Everybody's perspective is incorrect. So respect that. And I think what we'll do is, while people are coming up, Ankita, can we go around and ask our main people of the day, the stars that we have here, about how's their experience been, how do they feel, what's their mood like,
Absolutely.
and then connect it back here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the batch of 2020, this question is for you, that what are the very practical things that you are feeling? You are obviously being the representative of a lot of people who are feeling similar things. So in case I have to go to each one of you and understand what are the very practical things, that issues that people are facing nowadays from the batch of 2020, and I'm sure the other college students also have certain feeling of uncertainty, or maybe not very hopeful. So can we just start? Priya, do you just want to go and tell us what is the mood?
Thanks, Ankita. So, COVID-19 has impacted this economy in a very bad way. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and a lot of students have also been impacted, especially of the 2020 batch. I saw a lot of students from esteemed colleges such as the top IIMs and even other colleges posting on LinkedIn how they lost their jobs and now they are looking for opportunities. And people responding to it and saying, commenting for better reach. So first of all, yes, people are helping each other, and that's a very positive thing. That's the first part. The second part is that many students also have joined their companies. Like I have also joined my company in a completely virtual environment. So they're missing out on the very corporate vibe that they should have the experience of, especially for freshers. For those people who have already worked, know how that feels. But for freshers who do not know how the corporate world looks like, it's a very difficult feeling, because they're meeting with the CXOs of their companies, they're doing virtual meetings with everybody, but the physical camaraderie is missing. So yeah, that's one thing. And also I feel that this situation also has given a ray of hope, because many companies have made this virtual onboarding very seamless for the students, for those who have joined, that is. Even my company, I can say from my experience that it has been a wonderful experience. It's been just 3 days into the system, and I feel like I'm already part of the family. We are already wishing each other birthdays. So yeah, there's always a ray of hope. So I would request everybody who's currently waiting for joining to hang in there. You'll have better days coming. And for those who are still looking for jobs, there are some ways that you can also enhance your job seeking experience. We'll be talking about that and more of it in going on in this webinar.
Absolutely. Sankalp, do you want to go next and just tell what are the things that you and your batchmates have been facing?
Sure. So a lot of us are also waiting for a joining to join with the company. The joining has been delayed. Considering that a lot of us have responsibilities and there's a lot of stress in terms of financials. So considering the cost of doing an MBA in India is not less, and we have taken hefty amount of loans to do our MBA. So every month we are not repaying the loan. The amount is getting accumulated in the principal amount, and we are incurring a loss in a certain way. So this puts a lot of pressure on us in terms of financial stress. So this is an important perspective because finance plays a very important finance plays a very important role in one's life.
Right.
So this is my 2 cents.
Correct. Deepak, do you want to explain what are you and your batchmates are feeling?
See, I'll say the current situation, 1 or 2 months back, it was very, scary. But now, after since the beginning of July, it has middle of July, the situation is quite hopeful. So if I say that between May and June, year on year, 70% there was a dip in employment. Now for the July, it was 30%. So it has gone down 30%. So there is a ray of hope that employment is picking up. Okay. The second thing is that these things will pick up definitely, but there is a roadmap that we all build. There is a roadmap that we want to pursue. So that roadmap gets impacted. So because there will be no promotions, many companies have asked that there will be like no promotions or no incentives or no hike in the salaries. There are different companies which are doing that. So whatever we plan, that suppose in 2 years we have to reach this position, or suppose in 3 years we want to go that position, that thing has been impacted a lot, and that can't be recovered. You can join an organization 2-3 months later, but the thing that you have lost, the time, this time can't be recovered. So that's my thought about the current situation.
Right. Avanti, what are your thoughts on it? How would you explain the situation?
Thank you, Ankita. So I would want to answer this question on a more positive note in two ways, right? So one is the professional front and the personal front. So I know that the times are uncertain, and I know everyone is facing a lot right now, but there is hope, is what I would say. That is exactly what I was typing in the chat box. So the situation is hopeful. Maybe as Deepak mentioned that 2 months before, if you would have asked us the same question, the answer would have been much different. But right now, there are a lot of opportunities coming in terms of internships or stretch assignments from the companies. So all these things are very good for the profile. So, this time, the time that we have in the lockdown, we can look at this time as a time to reset or recharge ourselves professionally by taking up all these courses and doing the certifications and all of that. But I remember Sankalp mentioning once that, there is a time which comes where, you're just like, or kitna? Like, how many certifications will you do? What else will you do? But for that, I would say that, on a personal level, what I have done myself is, just pick a hobby. Try to, understand yourself, try to retrospect and, understand what is it that, you've been missing the whole time, because this time we are not going to get at all in our careers or in our professional life. So I think this is the time when we should actually go back and see that what all are the things that we've been missing so far, because we are not going to get it back. So on a personal level, I think that, we should actually start working on ourselves, which will also, reflect on our professional life. So
we are going to dive deep in this for sure during this discussion. Rahul, do you want to just express what are you feeling?
First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It has been pretty much summarized by all the colleagues who are, mentioning certain pointers.
Right.
Just take cues from each and every one who has already spoken before me. I would just like to summarize it by saying that obviously for someone who's joining has impacted, it's probably not a good situation to be in. But I have heard people whose joinings have been preponed because the sector that they are going to join in, it has seen huge growth, and they are right now working, off the charts when compared to the norm, what they were told how it's going to pan out for them. So obviously it's very the perspective is dependent on whom you speak to. In general, if you look at the overall picture, obviously it seems bleak because the impact has been pretty huge and it's been across sectors. But as Avanti mentioned, obviously this time will not come back, and it's better to utilize it not only professionally but on the personal front as well. And good things probably would be in store for us in the future. Yeah.
Right. So I think I now want to understand from Dheeraj's point of view that about this entire situation. What is the industry thinking? How are they reacting to this situation?
So Avanti, I think I'll pick a cue from what each one of them said. And yes, there are certain sectors. There are about 8-10 sectors. If you pick it up, they've boomed because of the COVID-19 situation. You pick up infrastructure management services, anything that enables you to talk to people from remote working. You look at Pepperfry, the kind of furniture they're selling for work from home situations. This is a very small example, but you look at supplements, right? People are taking supplements for boosting immunity. So the kind of industries that are right now growing are in the context of the situation that we are. Please understand, the only reason business thrives or survives is because of the people buying behavior globally. Now that behavior, what has actually changed is that behavior has drastically changed because of this COVID-19 situation. I will not, this is my perspective and point of view, happy to have any disagreements, but before this, there were certain areas which were not doing great. Did everybody know Zoom before COVID-19? My answer is no.
Right.
Okay. Suddenly they boomed 50% high. Okay. Then we heard a lot of noise about the security issues. Did they not fix it? So my thought here is that there is an advantage to companies and organizations who have already taken the journey of digitization, because that is a fast change that has come in COVID-19. Now, what happens in change management typically is it's very difficult to quickly change, especially there are huge organizations who have huge setups, huge infrastructures. It's very difficult for them to, IT industry, right? They're used to sit in front of me, work in front of me kind of a culture, right? No matter how much you call it virtual. So industries need to shape up, industries need to pick up, industries need to change the way they work, okay? Even when we go back after this COVID-19 pandemic goes away, fingers crossed, ways of working are definitely in for a change, Avanti. And what is going to happen is, Ankita, sorry, and what is going to happen also is that if you look at certain functions like learning and development, I think gone are the days of classroom trainings. The biggest impact, if anybody wants to do anything in this group who is looking at a futuristic kind of a roadmap, I think look at the education industry. I have two girls, 8 and 4 years old. They're perfectly doing fine at home on their laptop and learning. Now, as much as we may say that screen time is not good, anyways we do screen time. So that's a philosophical thought. Welcome to take that. But therefore, I'm just from the industry perspective trying to say that a lot of things are going to happen. A lot of exciting times are there ahead. When Sankalp said the other day when we were talking that enough of learning, my answer to that is that learn something which is in the context. Don't go into technology only. There is much more to learn than specific to your vertical, horizontal, whatever you want to call it, right? So much to learn. I read some comments: scared, bored, helpless. Perfectly that, right? Yeah, Aditya, thanks for saying that. Okay, absolutely. And what has board done? Which industry's gone high? Netflix, Prime. Name the home entertainment organizations that they've gone
all
high.
OTT platforms are doing phenomenal.
Name, forgive me, I'm taking 30 seconds more, then I'll pass it on to you. The other industry, social networking, okay? Social dating sites, because people are lonely, people are in their houses. A lot of people were not able to go back home. They're stuck in the cities, in the houses. So those kind of social interactions, whichever medium will increase social interactions with a distance, is going to boom. They're going to make money. What is the last one? Helpless. Have you guys not seen a lot of, I do not know how many of you follow Sadhguru. Okay, if you do, if you don't, go up and read up. He's as jazz and as saintly as possible. So he addresses both the groups. Okay. He offered inner engineering for half the price throughout the entire pandemic. This is only an example. I do not want you to believe in it. I'm saying that there are different ways these things are getting addressed in the marketplace. Now we need to figure out where does my heart lie, and therefore what do I want to learn. So that these are my few points in the beginning. I think we'll discuss more. Sorry to take more time.
Not a problem. So while we're talking about the very practical issues that people are facing, that the joinings are delayed and people have taken loans and all of that, apart from that, the major thing that this entire situation has brought on us is the emotional roller coaster that all of us are on. Some days you get up in the morning, you feel like, okay, this is the day I'll do something nice. This is the day I'll learn something new. In the same evening, you might come back and you say, I don't know, where am I going? What's happening? So this entire emotional, switch on and switch off thing is going around everywhere. And there are some very emotional related issues that all of us are facing. So about that, I want to understand from Sangeeta, who comes from a background of high performance coaching, and someone who kind of takes this coaching not only to the students but the industry professionals as well. So I wanted to understand, Sangeeta, from your point of view, that when there is so much uncertainty and fear everywhere, how do you kind of tackle this issue? Like, how do you kind of approach this with a positive mindset? How do you do that?
Right. So firstly, even before I get into that, I think what we must understand, see, I also have a finance background, and picking up from what Sankalp said. Now, he was talking about the financial challenges that, you as a student have. Now, any industry, I mean, any organization, they are also having similar financial challenges. And even if they're not having financial challenges, everybody wants to be conservative because nobody's sure. Like, I know organizations during the start of the lockdown, they thought they had a cash runway of like more than a year, and then suddenly they found everything sucked up, and they didn't have enough cash, I think, beyond 2 months. So they were also struggling. So nobody wants to take this chance right now, and that is one of the reasons why a lot of companies have gone in for salary cuts. They have put the recruitment on hold because they are also not sure. So yes, it's not all industries, but everybody wants to play it safe. Everybody wants to be cautious because nobody is sure of anything. I mean, as such, even before the pandemic struck, there was a lot of these uncertainty existing, and this has just made it worse. And we don't know by when, where, how it's going to turn around. So what I would suggest is, all of us together, collectively, we'll have to work towards it. Okay, one side is the vaccine, but that, apart from that, in the current circumstances, what is it that we can do as each individual? How are we going to combat and come out of this? It could be the boredom, it could be the challenge, it could be the negativity, it could be the hopelessness, whatever. So there's no one size that fits all. But what is it that works well for you individually? I mean, like, each of us have our own passions, have our own things that we want to do. How creative can you get? How can you get out of this boredom? And apart from just being into like a Netflix or the social media, whatever, what is it that you can really do? I mean, where can you really sharpen your skills? What about your passions? I'm sure, like, going through this rigmarole of preparing I know how stressful it can be. I have 2 teenagers at home, so I know how much it takes to prepare your school exams, your finals, your boards, and then college, and then getting into your college, and the exams and your mocks and so many things, and preparing for interviews, everything. It has been such a long roller coaster ride, if I can say that. So I'm sure you haven't really found time for your own self, the areas where you want to develop, and unleashing your creativity and see what is it that you want to really do. I mean, for all you know, you can be the next Mark Zuckerberg, right? There's nothing really stopping you in the current circumstances. How innovative can you get? We've all been used to functioning in every aspect in a particular way, right? But what is it that you can do differently at this point in time, so that you're able to capture into all your potential, whatever you're capable of? See, now it's a good time, because even if you want to start up something, it's all right, because even if you fail, it's all right, considering the current circumstances. So I mean, the avenues are unlimited. Like, I know somebody, he and 2 other friends, they started up a podcast studio, and just last week he told that they have been funded, right? So it's not like the growing up years of mine, like 2-3 decades ago, where our options were fairly limited. It was like either engineering or medicine, these were the main things. And if not, it was like, okay, CA and all, even that was coming as a secondary thing. But now the avenues are unlimited. I mean, it could be photography, it can be art, it can be anything on digital marketing, your YouTube video making, you can just get as creative as you can.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And there are so many of the free apps available. So it's just up to you to get as creative and get the required attention. Now, I don't know how many of you know, this was probably, I don't know, maybe 2 years back or something. I think this was for Airbnb, their HR had, I think, posted on LinkedIn or something, saying, every day we actually get so many profiles, people applying for roles. But then one particular CV just stood out. It caught their attention. They immediately called her and hired her. And you know what? She had done something very simple. Not that she had anything extraordinary, but her one-page CV that she had shared to Airbnb was exactly in the way their website is. It was constructed exactly, similar. So obviously it catches the eye, right? So
Right.
how are you branding yourself? How are you positioning yourself? I mean, this challenge, the good thing is, it's common to everybody. So you're not the only one. Even industry experts, people with experience, everybody is having this challenge. So you need to carve a niche for yourself. How are you standing out from the crowd? Those are things that you need to work on.
Absolutely.
Apart from, of
Absolutely.
course, sharpening your skills and being the best in what you do. So I think that is very important. So
Right.
see how you can capitalize on this period, leverage on this, because you're not going to get this, so much of time for yourself, once things get back to normal. So see what's the best thing that you can do.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I'm.
And Ankita, if you may allow, just to add to what Sangeeta just mentioned, and I think somebody else also earlier mentioned that this is the best time to spend time on your passion. That is one. Second, I think I want to ask you a question. Do you want to be remembered? Because this time is going to be remembered in our journey. As far as you meet your children, your grandchildren, you're going to tell them that there was a time that you were locked down in your house and you couldn't go out and meet your neighbor as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be remembered as a batch of 2020 who was sucked by the doom of coronavirus? Or do you want to be known as a batch of 2020 who came out of it and never looked back again? Like the Great Depression we speak about, right? I don't know how many of you must have read. I'm assuming with the great colleges and institutes that you have been, I'm sure you have read about it. 1929 it started, lasted for about 18 years. After that, people haven't looked back. Okay, people
Yeah.
haven't looked. And the best part of human race is that we are designed for resilience. We are designed for resilience. Your body, your immunity, everything about you is being designed for resilience. And this is the time when your resilience is getting tested. And yes, there'll be money, there'll be a lot of things, but you know what? I think it's all up to your inner peace. As much as I will say your education, yes, but as much as your inner peace and your awareness of yourself is clear, I don't think these external factors will touch you emotionally. Physically, they'll touch you. They should not touch your emotions. Okay, I think do something about that. And what passion does is it allows you self-awareness. It allows a lot of talk to yourself, which could be whatever passions Sangeeta was referring to earlier, right? It unleashes this unnecessary stress out of your mind and body. I just wanted to highlight that, let's make the world remember 2020 generation, not just the batch, as a generation that bounced back and did what was possible for the next generations that are coming, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if I can just add on to what Dheeraj said, since you spoke about stress. So I think stress, irrespective of the pandemic or the lockdown, I think stress is something we've all been so used to living with. Even a little child is stressed about the school, the exams, homework, whatever, till of course the CEO, the directors, like everybody is stressed out. So you need to find a way to see how you can overcome stress. Like for me, for example, what has really worked well is I've been into art of living for the last 15 years, simple breathing exercises. And I think it works wonders for me. So I do my pranayama, Bhastrika, Sudarshan Kriya, and then, sit for a few minutes in meditation. And that has really helped me. I mean, I guess that's the reason why I've been into it for the last 15 plus years. So see what is it that works for you, because there's no point getting stressed and, not able to achieve what you want to achieve. So see what works well for you. That is very important. And see how best you can be productive during this time. Like, again, I mean, just to quote what I did, I've written 2 books during this time. So see what is the way you can get out yourself. There are so many things happening online as well. There are lots of online classes, and a lot of them are free. There are some excellent webinars, good talks that are coming up. Or just like, maybe if you're good at singing, there are so many of these music apps, or you want to dance. Or I know people who have never done any art all along, apparently they've started learning from YouTube, and, they're doing a lot of art, right? So just see what really works well, and it's up to you to make the most of it, because the focus should be on the solution. If you keep focusing on the problem, it's just going to be a problem forever. So see what is the best way you need to come out. Look for solutions.
In
I
fact,
think, Sangeeta, I'll come back to, sorry, Dheeraj. I think I'll come back to you after asking Garima and Namita about when you're talking about this entire emotional roller coaster that batch of 2020 is going through. What are the actual things that people are feeling or, you know, experiencing, so that maybe our solutions or the kind of way forwards that you're trying to give can be a little more objective and, you know, tailored to their issues. So maybe I'll start with Garima. So Garima, if you have to like be a representative of 2020 batch and say that, you know, what are the emotional challenges that people are going through, and then we can see how we can actually come back with the proper solutions for that.
Yeah, so what I would say is like we were talking about picking up a hobby or following our passion. But like for me, it has been 5 months since I'm home, right? So I was in college. So like there are like, my lifestyle was very much different after coming back home. So now what I thought, like I'll start working out. So I'm consistent for like 5 months, right? That's okay. Like I'm happy with that. Then came up with like following my passion, what I love. So I started food blogging. I'm doing that, and I'm doing that very well. And even I'm learning digital marketing concepts and applying them, like making my channel grow, and everything is good. But like when company HR calls me and tells that like they are analyzing the situation and they don't know like when they are going to let us join, and then and they are not even planning for virtual onboarding because it's a manufacturing company, and they want our induction to be like, they want us to see their plant and everything. So that's, you know, the time period is uncertain. Like for how long you're going to be at home, that is uncertain. So maybe you are very much motivated, you are highly motivated, you are doing things what you love, but at certain point you do feel like, for how long you can be like this. And also the positive point, like being at home, being with your family. Like I couldn't be home like last year for 10 months, and so like for me it's very important to be with my family. But yeah, I do understand the importance of all those things, but at the end of the day you do want to work, you do want to start working, right?
Right.
And this was my point of view. And also I would want to bring up the situation. So one of my friend, she got placed in one company, and later initially they gave the modules to everyone. 4 people were placed in that company. They gave modules to everyone, and they started learning and everything was good. After 4 months they mailed that we'll be taking these 3 people, and one girl was her offer was revoked. So can you imagine the situation for her? Like she was like she has started doing the modules, but at the end of the day it's for her like job is gone, she lost all her hope. Placeform helped her and she got the job, but like this is just, I'm just quoting the situation. So
Yeah.
that creates a lot of problem. So yeah.
Correct. Namita, I want to understand from you also, like.
What Garima said, I actually agree with her. So if I talk about batch of 2020, there are already a lot of question marks on our career. We have already discussed it all, which adds to our stress. Then there's this financial burden of paying off loans, which Sankalp mentioned. So there's no cash inflow and we have to pay that hefty amount of loans. So that adds to the misery. And then there's this, which we not talk about, is the societal pressure that you have passed on from a really good college and you are expected to land into this top-notch companies and high-paying jobs, even when there's a recession going on. So there are these expectations that actually lowers us down. And there are some people which are lucky enough to get joined landing into the jobs. They are also struggling from work from home setup. It's working really well for one set of people, but it's not that working for another set of people. It's adding much more to their stress and impacting their mental health. If I look at the batch of 2021, their summer internships are already ruined, I'll say, because some of them were not paid enough. Some of them were actually do not get the on-field job experience, which they could have got, especially in case of sales. And going forward, they have online classes. So the peer learning, which one look for in an MBA, would be somewhat restricted, I would say. And the most important thing, whether you agree with it or not, this placement is one of the most important thing when anyone joins MBA. So there is this, there's no clarity over here. People are kind of losing hope. As per one of the study, which is named COVID Blue study, financial insecurities and job losses were the topmost reason people were feeling insecure, people are getting stressed. What is the outcome coming over here? People, there's an increasing anxiety, there's depression, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts. So we need to look at individual level what we can do to actually cope up with that. Amid all these blues, there are some organizations that are working for the betterment of employees for their mental health. For instance, I would like to take my example, my organization. We have a dedicated chief wellness officer. We have virtual yoga classes going on. And there's this dedicated Slack channel where people keep on posting tips on mental health. And then they'll share recipes, how they are growing vegetables at home. So the whole point of doing all of it is that people stay sane while being logged in at home and still working. So all these small things that actually it seems small from an organization point of view, but actually make a big difference to the well-being of an employee. So that would be my take.
Right. So taking cues from what Namita and Ganesh has mentioned, I want to ask Dheeraj that there is this growing trend. If you see, there are a lot of freshers who are getting opportunities not as a full-time employee, but maybe a freelancer, maybe a part-time, maybe on a contract basis. So do you see this particular trend increasing 2020 onwards? Like instead of hiring maybe 2,000 to 5,000 freshers every year, is industry going to look at these options?
So
how do you look at this?
So before I go to that practical question, Ankita, I want to take a step back and I want to thank Garima and I'm missing the name, Namita, to share their thoughts, the emotion that they're going through. It's very brave of you to be able to share it in a group like this. Trust me, people don't do it. And that is where the whole thing, breaks inside you, and then you have extreme thoughts. Okay. Since that word came up, I do not want to use it here, but then I want you guys to be very aware of your own self. What makes sense to you? What are your values in life? What is it that your parents believe in you about? And always remember that when something puts you down in life. Now, with respect to uncertainties, I think like Sangeeta mentioned earlier, life is not short of uncertainties. Okay, it is just that right now the context of uncertainties is common for all of us. Let me put it that way. Okay, this one reason is common for all of us. Were many industries anyways doing well? Like Sangeeta mentioned earlier, she's right, they were not doing fantastically well. Now what really happened is because the whole context of you not be able to going to work has happened because you can't be together. So this whole digital ecosystem is playing fine, but wherever there is this industrial ecosystem that has sort of broken, not really, because there are many industries still that are still doing fine and growing and booming. Unfortunately, fortunately, you may be placed in a company which works in a particular way where you are required to come there and do whatever. Now to those organizations, I don't know if they will listen to this, or we would want to blog more, maybe Sangeeta, about this later, that please change your way of thinking. You don't need to really induct people when they come. You don't need to really show them the plant when they come, because eventually there are going to be robots and AI doing lots of those stuff, and you better get your people on board. I don't know when that will get solved. It's a long fight, guys. But then with respect to companies and Ankita, to your question, and yeah, I'll just go back again. So both of them have shared. I know that there are 40 people at least listening to this, or more than 40 people listening to this. The success and the magic is in being able to share your pain with your near and dear ones. Please talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to your colleagues, and share it. Do not worry about them judging you. Okay. And then there is a societal pressure. You know what? Society doesn't care. You do great, they'll say, oh God, I don't know how they landed this job. You don't do great, they'll say, ye to hona hi tha. Okay, so so don't worry about the society. Society has only, that's the way Indian society has been. We are over connected, and hence those comments. Okay, so don't worry about that. Another very important point: worry about parameters that are in your control. Do not worry about parameters that are not in your control. Please remember this all your life. Worry about things. Whenever you start worrying, think one thing: is this going to help? Is this thinking helping me in any way? Is there an outcome to this? If there is no outcome to it, do not waste your mind share. Please don't waste it. Have a chat with your parents, spend a good time with your parents. You guys are all unmarried, all of you. Assumption, sorry. Okay, and I'm sure that you guys don't have children. Again, assumption. Okay, I'm an older generation. We used to have children after we get married. Okay, so so about that, this is the time you live with yourself. Ask me, I'm a mother. I cannot even go to the restroom without my children. It's very difficult once you have your family. So enjoy this me time. Later you're going to crib about getting this me time. Okay. So I'm coming back to Ankita's question. This was on a lighter note. So Ankita, organizations are planning to, so the market is actually picking up. Okay. The market is not going in slumps. It is picking up. And there are certain markets which will take a lot of time, such as airline industries. It's, loud and clear that they are going to take more time to revive and come back. Now whichever organizations are supporting those, right, there are suppliers to those organizations, right, naturally there'll be a ripple effect to those kind of industries. Now I like the way Deepak put it, that you need to reset your roadmap. If there is an organization that gave you an offer, what makes you stick to that offer? Okay, why don't you figure out what is the other thing that you can do? If your colleges are pushing you to stick to that offer, you want to have a dialogue with them, please have a dialogue with them. You want to search for yourself, please search for yourself. Do not, what makes you stuck to that context? I don't think it's a way to, so reset the roadmap that you had designed. You had imagined that you will get a particular package when you will join because you graduated from a, good school, which is fair. It's a fair expectation. But in uncertain times, keeping the same expectation is not great mathematics. Okay, it's not great mathematics, trust me. Don't worry about it, because everybody parallel to you is going through the same thing. Comparison is going to be with the same old reason of coronavirus, COVID-19, 2020 batch. You will keep saying this all your life. Because I was in that batch, my package is low, and because somebody came in the previous year, their package is 10 lakh more, or etc. etc. Get those things out of your head, because there are certain situations which, like I said again, parameters not in our control. We can do nothing about it. All we can do is look past it, walk past it. Sometimes you play the ball in cricket, sometimes you ditch the ball. So this is the time you ditch the ball. Yeah. Yes, Ankita. So yes, contractors, hiring of contractors. In fact, the organizations that I have been associated with, I think I'm sensing that, we are going to pick up, in fact, more grads and more post-grads, because they are more market ready, and the lateral hires become costlier if I'm looking at the cost aspect of it. So of course, smart people like you are needed in the world out there, and needed to do the innovation that we all need for the times that are coming. Okay. So yes, I think there is an upward trend towards the mid of this year. I hope things get better. But there are some huge deals, a lot of companies are winning. There are a lot of huge deals getting signed, even on, so a lot of people said that virtual working is complex. Yes, it is. Absolutely it is. And therefore, only people who are fantastic and great will do great. And if you believe you are one, you will definitely do it. Okay. If you don't believe you are one, drop me a note one-on-one and I'll have a chat with you. Okay. So I don't believe nobody's.
Thank you, Dheeraj.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ankita. Go on.
So, Sangeeta, coming back to the topic about, being resilient and having healthy habits, which will kind of take you through this time and build you for the future as well. So, are there any suggestions from your side that you give that, because there's always two sections of people, like as you mentioned, for us who are working in the industry, if in a heartbeat, but when there are people who are very eager to join the industry, for them the entire waiting, they keep trying their patience, and they're saying, okay, we are kind of doing our learning, understanding, but now we want to actually apply our knowledge into the industry. So these are the two perspectives that I'm seeing here. But then during this period, when you actually, as Dheeraj mentioned, don't have a lot of things in your hand, how do you go and build resilience, and how do you build those healthy habits which will help you throughout your career journey?
So firstly, I think all you guys should understand this is not the end of the world. And by you not getting placed in, the respective organization or whatever, life is much beyond that, because life is just challenging you to see what more you can do. Because probably the higher power realizes you have lot more potential than just being an employee, right? So what if, like, I'm just throwing ideas, right? Like a friend's son, he plays I think drums, not drums, I don't know, some instrument he plays pretty well. So what he started doing, he started taking online classes, and he's a school kid, okay, and whatever amount that he was raising out of it, he was giving it to charity, right? When a kid can do that. Now this particular thing that I actually wore was is this done by my daughter, done by her own self, her initiative, not that I told her to do. So when, you know, little kids are doing things like this, different things, I'm not saying this is, you know, the thing to be done or whatever, but the opportunities are unlimited. Now on Instagram, for example, there's a guy, forget his name, who I think he's from Pune as well. He is a lot into fitness. So he's just been taking online classes, and apparently there was somewhere I read, I think in one day he made like 15-20 lakhs, something like that, some humongous number, like, you know, by just teaching online. So opportunities are there. It's just up to you. Now, if you're going to fix yourself inside a box and say that it's just that I need to go and work in this particular company or this particular thing, then you are just bound by it. Now just break free from the box and see what more you can do. Maybe a couple of you and your friends can together start up a new business, for example, right? The opportunities are there, so many. It's just that you need to break this monotony and, you know, break the stereotype of thinking in a particular way. So see what is it that you can actually be doing during these times, because that's when a lot more in you is going to be triggered. And with regard to this pressure from the society, see, end of the day, it's a way of people acknowledging something. You know, simple things like I'll tell you my own thing. You know, an acquaintance, a business acquaintance, yeah, a slightly elderly person. We hardly even see each other. So, you know, he called me for some favor, and then, you know, during the course of the conversation, he's like, "Are you working from home or from office?" So I said, "No, I've been working only from home." So he said, "Oh, that means you must be putting on a lot of weight." I mean, I just found it so ridiculous. Firstly, it's none of his concern, right? So it's, then I was like, it's all right. I mean, that's the way people just want to acknowledge it, just want to say something for the sake of saying it, right? So these things are immaterial. I mean, just take it in one ear and just chuck it from the other, because is it really serving you to grow? That's a question that you need to ask yourself, you know, how is it really helping you? So if you think through that way, I think it could, but I think you also need to acknowledge and understand that the opportunities are unlimited, despite, you know, the pandemic or whatever. It's up to you to see what is the most you can do out of the current situation.
Thank you, Sangeeta. I think I want to go back to Priya. Priya, you were mentioning during earlier discussion that the entire finding jobs during this pandemic has also been a challenging situation for all of us. So I want to take your example, and maybe you can give some examples from your batch and friends as well, that when it's about finding a job on your own without college placement, then what is the way that maybe you approached, or if there's anything that you want to add to that?
Sure, thanks, Ankita. So yes, I agree with you that finding a job is very difficult on your own. It's not a very easy task, given the current situation as well, where most of the hiring is freeze in companies. So my suggestion to all the students would be to, so what you can do is follow a month process. Every day, make a list of 10 companies which are your dream companies, but not too unrealistically. Put a realistic approach to it. Those companies which you think are also doing well and are hiring, make a list of those. Check out their LinkedIn pages and their website every day, because many companies put up jobs on their website, but they do not reach LinkedIn or do not reach other job posting sites. So keep looking at their websites every day, and that is very important. So take an hour every day, wake up, look at those companies' websites, see if any jobs fit you, and then after a week or after 3 days, if you see a good thing, then keep increasing that list of companies. So this way you'll be able to find, you'll have a better chance of finding a job, because the competition is fierce. Let me put
Right.
it out there, the competition is extremely fierce. There are many students who are standing in line. So you need to be on top of your game. You need to be very alert, especially during these times. So as soon as even if you see a post on LinkedIn where some HR has posted a job opportunity, make sure you apply to that as soon as possible. Do not wait for long amount of time. Do not say that, okay, I'll do it in the morning, I'll mail her in the morning. Don't, just nail it at that point in time as well. So that is one streamlined process that you can follow. Apart from that, okay, you can also refer to many other motivational speakers on LinkedIn. There's this speaker called Karthik Srinivasan on LinkedIn. He posts amazing posts about how to find jobs. So go and follow him. That will be awesome.
Right. Thank you, Priya. From batch of 2020, I want to add, in case you want to add to this experience, that because all of you have gotten place or on a way of getting place. So in case if you want to add anything, because after this, I want to go to Dheeraj and want to understand the entire hiring process from her, from the industry side as well. So is anyone else wants to add anything?
Ankita, I want to say something.
Okay. Okay, I think Deepak, you go first, then we will go back to Avanti. Yeah.
So Ankita, I like to add, like we are, everybody says the batch of 2020 is facing a lot of issues, but I'll tell you one thing: we are a very privileged batch. The reason is, as Dheeraj ma'am said it, there is a change that is happening from industry to digitalization. Okay, and if you go to any company, those who are having an experience of like 25 years, 30 years, they are not that tech savvy. Okay, and we are a generation which has adapted internet and all those things that we are doing, like Zoom calls and all meets and all. We can do it very easily. There are $1 million deals being signed every day. We are, I'm into marketing, I'm into sales, and I'm having client calls. So those things which require 2 3 visits, 4 visits from our side to the client is now done, sitting on in your home. And then but even I see that many times what happens in the manufacturing industry, especially the senior most people are struggling with these things. And here opportunity for us, either we can make them learn the digital things. For that also there is an opportunity. Somebody can start something which enhances people about their digital skills. And for us also, we can get into the digital space. Digital marketing is booming up. I have been doing digital marketing for some of companies, startups, and all. The senior people are not aware about how digital marketing works. So you need to find spaces. There are always some scope. We say there is always scope of improvement. Similarly, there is always a scope of positivity, and you need to find that positivity. And I think this is the best time when you can do it. You need to realign what you are doing, and you need to move forward. Taking a step backward is not allowed. You need to move forward. So that's what I wanted to put, that we are a privileged batch and we should go ahead with this notion.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Deepak. Avanti, do you want to say what you?
Yeah. Thank you, Ankita. So I totally agree with what Deepak and Priya just shared. And I just want to add one point, is that we keep talking about how we all need to be flexible in terms of the work we do, or how agile we should be as students or the recent pass out. I think this is the time when we actually need to put all of that in practice. Why do we need to be so rigid, saying that this was a sector that I was supposed to go work for, or this was the kind of job that I wanted to do? But why can't we just explore opportunities? Because as rightly mentioned by Sangeeta ma'am, there are no less opportunities. If you go on LinkedIn, even now, you will get so many opportunities, be it from startups, be it from top companies, or any sector. So I think what we really need to do is, be flexible towards accepting the kind of jobs that are coming our way, especially us, the batch of 2020 and 21 now. So that is one thing. And the other thing that I really wanted to, the point that I wanted to make is just adding on to the point of empathy that you made. I think we really need to be empathetic towards the companies as well, because I know off the bat, a lot of companies are trying to, customize experiences for the new hires. they're trying to create opportunities to accommodate people. So I know there are a lot of companies which are going through this major setback, but they are still trying, right? So I think we need to give the companies a few some time, so that they are there and they put out all those opportunities, so that we are able to grab all those opportunities. Because
Right.
even in terms of experiences, they're also providing a lot of help and support and everything for everyone who's a part of this batch. So I think that point of empathy is also very important to understand here.
Correct.
Ankita, if you would just allow me to make one small point.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'll just take 10 seconds. Priya actually mentioned a lot of good points for our crowd who are watching the session right now, and probably Dheeraj ma'am and Sangeeta ma'am can focus on some good things to remember and summarize things to take back once the session ends for our audience. But adding on to that resume or CV point that Priya mentioned, I think it's also important to I mean, it's high time right now to change the structure of your CV and probably make different CVs as per the sectors that are right now doing good or are in the process of hiring. We usually take our CV very lightly, but right now structuring your CV according to what's required by the companies, it's also very important, because your CV is one thing which can make or break your application. So I think that is one point. You can create actually CVs specific to the sectors that you want to apply to, and then continue to shortlist the organizations and send different CVs for different sectors. So that is probably
customized CVs for all the different companies that you are approaching. Yeah.
I definitely agree with this. I'm sorry, Ankita. I definitely agree with this point, because sector agnostic CVs are very, very important. Especially, you need to know which sectors are actually booming. So I'll just give you an example. I know of a corporate gifting company. Who, when the pandemic happened, they started manufacturing PPE kits and masks, and now their business is actually improving. A lot of companies are changing their business models also, and they are going in line with the current situation. Especially if you see the healthcare industry has boomed a lot. Supply chain industry, when you see that everything is getting transported to your home, even your food and everything, which we also used to do earlier in spite of the pandemic, but now it's become more prominent. Now you do not go out and go shopping, right? So these are some of the sectors that are really hiring, and you need to make your CV accordingly. Even Sankalp and Avanti mentioned about certifications. So you know what sectors are hiring. You can do certifications in those areas also, which help you accordingly.
I just want to add one thing, Ankita. I'm so sorry, I'll just take a second. So I also want to highlight this one point, that all of us should be actually working on our LinkedIn profiles as well, because that is one major source of hiring in these days. So a lot of talent acquisition teams are also considering LinkedIn as one major source of recruitment. So I think keeping the profile up to date and adding everything is important.
Yeah, right, totally. So going back to Dheeraj, I want to know from your side that, when maybe this year industry is not hiring, but the limited hiring that they're doing, what kind of profiles and what kind of skills the industry is actually expecting to see in people's CVs and maybe their LinkedIn profiles. So what are the things that people are looking forward to hire?
So like all of you said, okay, there's a lot of intelligence already shared by our rock stars, I'll call them. Fantastic thought process, guys. Fantastic point of views. I think in whatever you've learned, you've really studied well. Okay. So so what kind of skills? Now I'll go back to what kind of business is doing well today in the market. Okay. Cloud kind of technologies. Okay. Doing great. Okay. Infrastructure doing great. Okay. People want machines. There was a time in the month of March, I think, that HP and Dell and those outlets were out of laptops. And even during the moment the lockdown used to open for 2 days, I have seen queues outside Uni store for MacBooks and for phones and whatnot, electronic items, right? So look at the skills which enable software industry to do business virtually. Pick up those skills if you haven't picked them up yet. Pick up the skills where you see this door-to-door delivery happening very well. I don't need to name you all know that Amazon is doing great there, but I've heard a startup Dunzo doing great. I've at least heard it doing great in Pune, taking stuff from one place to the other. So there are a lot of such organizations which are doing great. So supplements, pharmacy, pharmaceutical area, that will also do, that is currently also booming, and it will do well in the future also, because there's no way you will stop having medicines. Okay, as soon as the vaccine comes, the world is going to be very different again. So there are three things. Either you work like, I'm just amalgamating what Sangeeta said, and what Priya said, and what Rahul, Deepak, all of you said, Avanti. So basically, either you start or learn things which will help you serve these markets, okay, or you create these things by yourself, okay. There are many VCs waiting to invest. If you do not read business news, if you do not watch the trading news on CNN or whatever channel you like, please go ahead and watch it. Keep yourself market intelligent. I am not getting books to read all this. The only intel I have is the news that I read, the industry. Of course, I'm in the industry, but it is important to keep yourself surrounded. Don't be lazy about, what I studied, now I'll get my job. I don't know how many of you understand Hindi. So if you do, so I want to say that sirf pad ke kuch nahi hota hai. You have to also apply it, no? So that is what they teach you in IIMs, IITs, and all these kinds of huge institutes, right? The third thing is, look at organizations who are modifying their business model. So which means read about them a lot, because all these organizations who are right now struggling will be investing on changing the way they're doing business today. And that is what you need to learn. So these are three things that I think you should focus on. And Ankita, to your question, I don't think the market has stopped hiring. Market is still hiring. I myself have changed my job within COVID times. Okay, I got my new offer letter during COVID. I was interviewed on FaceTime or whatever you want to call it, Zoom. So everything for me happened virtually. So I'm as good as you guys, whoever just joined the jobs, okay? I'm getting myself introduced to vice presidents, to CXOs, to everybody virtually, and it's a fantastic interaction, okay? Now, how do you want to do it? So I think there are certain sectors, like I said, right, in the companies that I am associated with and I know about, people are winning great deals in infrastructure management services, cloud services, and they're hiring for those skills. The hiring is not frozen. Please understand, it's a ripple effect. The hiring is frozen for the industries that, if I serve aerospace industry in any way, then my hiring is frozen. If I serve hotel industry or hospitality industry in any way, then my hiring is frozen. Please understand, it's a ripple effect of the industry top down. So like your colleagues just mentioned, go for the industries the way Priya mentioned, go for the websites of the organizations. They are looking for talent. Hiring, I'll repeat, has not frozen. It is a myth which is created, and it is making you more lazy, because you're thinking that hiring is frozen and you're not going and looking for another job because you got one job from the campus. Why are you doing that to yourself? Don't do it to yourself. So go for the sectors like Avanti mentioned. Go for the sectors which are hiring. Don't wait there for the offer letter. Okay? Yes. Now, there is a choice that you make, okay? And choice has a philosophy. You make a choice, and the decision and the repercussion and the result of the choice is the choice that you made. Do not blame the world. Do not blame the situation for it. So every choice has a repercussion, positive, negative, whatever it is. Be brave enough to handle it. Like Sangeeta said, it's not end of the world. I started my job with a very, very small startup, let me tell you. I've grown up the ladders. I think I'm doing fine in my life. And, I had 2-3 offers from great companies as well. But I thought I'll join a startup, because in a startup, you get to learn every damn thing. You get to be a janitor. You get to do the tech decisions like a CEO. You will not get to do this in a corporate. Trust me. Whoever is in a corporate will know that. You will get to do only what you are responsible for. Now, there'll be people who like to do that, which is fair. I respect that. But I'm saying, don't get hung up that unless it's a big name. And usually what will happen is, social is a different pressure. Your parents may also tell you, oh God, you studied so much and you're joining a startup. What happened to you to those big companies? Don't get into that. Educate your parents with you that the world is changing, and therefore you also need to educate your parents back, right? They paid for your education. Your journey is to educate them back and give them wider perspective. Okay, I think that's 2 cents from me, Ankita. A long one.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Not a problem. So this brings me to the next point of discussion that I want to start with Sankalp. So Sankalp, during your introduction, you mentioned something about having financial and other responsibilities, and how some people have taken loans, or some people have some financial responsibilities to kind of fulfill. So if you can just elaborate that point a little. After that, I want to go back to Sangeeta, who also comes from a financial background. So we can have some discussion around that as well. So if you can just explain.
Sure. So I graduated from the one-year MBA program, which is a program for senior people with minimum 5 years of experience. And for my batch, I would say that 75% of the batch was married, and like 50% of the batch were was having kids also. So they have their family, and also it makes them responsible to take care of their family. And they would have planned their finances in a way that after March they would be joining a company in April or May, and then they would repay the loan and get back to the normal thing that was before this MBA program. But now that entire planning has disrupted, and there's a stress, financial stress is there. So to these people, so this is an important point, because every month we are not repaying the loan. The loan amount is calculated as per the simple interest for this month, and then added to the principal amount, and when we pay back, it will be given as per the complex interest. So we are in moratorium period right now. So this actually increases your principal amount, and then when you repay, your interest will go high. So it somewhere down the line creates financial stress, and it is difficult to find equally good job what you have got earlier, uh, and through the campus. I agree that we need to look for other jobs, but people with 7-8 years of experience, they come with a certain expectation to have certain kind of job uh, after this MBA program, and it kind of gives them a resentment if they don't land up in the kind of job they were expecting. So there is a stress of expectations from your own, and also expectation stress because of the finances.
Right. Thank you, Sankalp. So my question to Sangeeta is that there are a lot of things that, apart from batch of 2020, all of us are learning. One of the important things is habit of saving for your future, saving for these uncertain times. Because when we started working around 8 to 9 years back, the concept of saving from your first salary maybe was not that big. But now if you see the entire conversation around saving for your future, keeping some emergency funds, all of these things are becoming very important. So what is your take on that? How should batch of 2020 and maybe 2021 also, how should they get into this habit of saving and financial management from day one?
Right. So firstly, I think you should look at it as a learning, right? Only because this has happened now, everybody, I think, is becoming a lot more financially savvy, financially aware more than anything else. You know, they've realized the importance to save, because, you know, earlier on, a lot of millennials, like including my cousins and all who are much younger, whatever they used to earn, they were earning quite well, but they used to just spend everything. This concept of saving wasn't there. Like, you know, it was, they live for today, which is fine in its own way, but then how geared up are you for cases like this that are, you know, totally beyond your control? Just like Dheeraj said, you know, you can't really do anything much, and therefore it becomes important that you get into the habit of saving, right? Of course, you know, times like these, it is pretty stressful. So what I say is, you know, the cash inflow is not under your control at this point in time, but what you can control is only your cash outflow. So how are you controlling it? So, you know, I would say you divide them into 3 buckets, which is highly essential, essential, and non-essential, you know, in the current circumstances. So obviously things that are highly essential, you're like basically your roti, kapda, and makan, you have to go ahead, you have to, you know, incur these things. So you go ahead, you incur them. And then whatever you think is non-essential, the best way is to, you know, eliminate it if you are having a financial crunch at this point in time. Now, the gray area is the one that is the essential ones. You know, you want to go for it, but then you're not so sure with your current earning capacity. So how do you actually differentiate, you know? So what I would say is, depending on whatever your cash inflow that you're getting, whatever are your earnings. So you can either set yourself a fixed amount each month, like, give yourself whatever is a realistic number. Only you would know in your current lifestyle and your current earning capacity, depending on how many family members are dependent on you and stuff like that. So you either fix it up as a percentage of your salary or as a fixed amount. Like, every month what happens, I will not spend more than 50% of my income, or not spend more than whatever 30,000-40,000, whatever is the real number. I will not go beyond this. So you actually set yourself something like a mini budget, and ensure you're playing within the rules of the game, so you don't feel like you're overly cringing, and at the same time you're not going overboard and spending as well. So it's important to strike a right balance between the two. So do that, and also ensure whatever you're earning, you set aside a small amount for your savings or your investment. And it's always good to diversify all the investments. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. So see how you can diversify, because so many things, so many things are there, and so many aspects to invest, and then the uncertainty is also there in everything. There's no guarantee that any particular investment will definitely give you. It's a good probability is there. So make your decisions wisely, financial decisions. See, again, emotion plays a big role here. End of the day, we're all humans. We do tend to get carried away by emotions, which is fine. There's nothing wrong about it. So even the stress and everything that we are feeling, like exactly like Dheeraj said, acknowledge it, understand it's there, but the best way is to just talk it out to whoever you're comfortable, your family, your friends, your mentors, whoever. Just talk it out, vent it out. That itself, you'll feel a lot lighter.
Right.
So it's important to bring it out and use your financial prudence when it comes to spending. So just be a little extra cautious during these times is what I would want to say.
Right. Thank you, Sangeeta.
Ankita, just allow me to add there.
Sure.
Even if you want to go ahead, I want to stop you there. Okay, so
sure, go ahead.
So Sankalp, I want to talk to you. Okay, so you said, you said something about simple interest, complex interest, compound interest. That's complex, man. Okay, my point to you is: had the government said pay your, all the money and no moratorium, what would have happened? Take a step back, yeah? Just take a step back. And if you can afford to pay it off. If you can't afford to pay, it's the best in the worst situation that you can get. Okay, so that's a choice we make. Don't worry about what you have to pay 5 years later and waste your mind share on that. Rather invest on how will you make up for this money because of the skills that you have gained during this time. Okay, I think you should think about that more. Plus, the other thing, what somebody asked was, Garima has asked me a question, asked a question. So I'm, Sangeeta, taking the liberty to start answering this one. On LinkedIn, there's a content about contractual jobs becoming more evidently available and all that, right? So Garima, please understand that LinkedIn and all these kinds of companies, I do not know if you have read if the data is really from India, but most of this data is internationally placed data. Okay, usually the survey that they run is more the other countries and Asia packed together. Okay, so it's not usually only India singled out. If it is India singled out, I would also want to address that. So US and other economies are always hire at will kind of a situation. They are majorly contractual jobs. The job security that Indians are used to is the feeling which your grandfathers and great grandfathers had for your generation. For me, my parents, for you, your grandparents and their parents, okay? That you get into a job and you stay there. That is job security. In your generation, I don't think anyways you guys have the patience to stay in a company for more than 5 years, okay? Forgive me for being blunt, but I think today the life and the energy, the way I see people moving their context. When I say jobs, I mean you move your context, right? It helps you learn so much. I have changed my job after 14 years. Can you believe it? 14 freaking years. And then I changed my job now. Okay. I'm already feeling sad that I lost so many opportunities. I could have learned so much more multifold when I moved, right? I'm not suggesting attrition to the rest of the world, the HR community will murder me if they hear this. So, but I'm saying that don't worry about job security. You know, if you're doing your job damn well, if you know what you're doing, your company is not letting you go. Don't worry about contractual, non-contractual. A lot of my employees want to be contractual because the deductions are less for contractual employees. Deductions for full-time employees are more. So the take-home salary becomes higher for contractual. So there is nothing called job security in this world. We are all working for private organizations. In many, many years back, government organizations used to have the job security angle. And that too, I think, is gone now. In fact, government has become contractual for a very long time now. So don't worry about that, Garima.
Right. I think with that, we'll start taking questions from the audience, because a couple of questions that I had already, I see they have been covered in the chat box. So I think we will start with the first question. Let me just go back up.
It was from Samar.
Yeah.
Samar Verma.
Who was that? Yeah, 1 second. Right. So I think this is the same thing that Dheeraj was mentioning there. Is it right for the companies to fire their employees abruptly during the time of crisis? Are there any other ways, like some salary cuts or some employment in batches, etc., at least that will save some people from not feeling miserable about themselves?
So I'll take a shot at that, Ankita. So I think the first choice of employers was not to fire, trust me, because hiring and grooming talent is a lot of cost to the organization.
Right.
Losing those people and then recycling that whole thing is not easy, trust me. But what happened was, like Sangeeta mentioned, and others have also, Deepak mentioned. So a lot of clients, the people that you serve in the industry, right? Like I said, it's a supply chain, logistical chain that everybody serves everybody before you see the end product. So what happened was, the main customer who was serving the main customer, when I say the main customer, I mean, if you are working for a bank, my customer for a bank is the person who's walking down the street, going to the ATM and getting the money out, right? I'm talking about that end user. So that stopped, right? That stopped. Now, because those things stopped, not about money, I'm talking about other commodities which are not so essential. So the whole effect on the market came in, and then the customers started asking for discounts. You know, the discount questions have also come to the extent that now that you guys don't use premises and people are working from home, we have calculated this is the percentage of dollars that you should give us discounts on. That's the degree of conversation that is happening. Okay, a lot of this your management may or may not tell you, but they are grappling with these questions every single day. What we try to do is, we don't want to send people to workplace because we understand that it is not safe for their family and them. A lot of people resigned on purpose, saying that I would rather resign and stay at home than if I have to go and work with the premise. Now that's a choice you make. You can't do much with it, because a lot of these, a lot of the Western world believes that that's a modern world. But trust me, we have struggled with a lot of those international customers to make them believe that our people are more productive when they are home. They don't have to worry about deliverables. But that some clients did not, live by it. A lot of did. Maximum people have matured enough and they have done it, but a lot of people did not. And only those clients, people had to come to work to serve, and that is where these issues have occurred. Now, with respect to firing, yes, a lot of organizations have picked up the mechanism of taking a cut at higher level in the management, not at the bottom level. A lot of organizations, you may know of some who have fired people, but I know of organizations who have taken a cut at the top layer for salaries, so that the rest of the people don't suffer down below who have lesser income. Okay. A lot of organizations have not given incentives to the top-notch management people, 3 layers at the top, but given some part to the lower levels. Okay, so the whole theory, again, like Sangeeta mentioned, which is the cash conservation theory. People are trying to be safe so that they don't have to shut shop, God forbid, and continue as much as possible. Now, what has happened somewhere in the process is, people, a lot of such associates or whoever work for us, unfortunately, if that time your performance is not at the peak, you will get highlighted. You like it or you don't like it. So that's why I always say to everybody I meet ever that, every time in life, don't work because there is a appraisal coming or you're getting a revenue or you're getting some money out of it. Work because you want to work. Do it because you want to do it. Don't do it under the pressure of somebody watching you. Okay, that is when these things fail. Okay, I'll give you the flip side. Now, employees have also exploited the situation very, very badly. And I want to say that please don't do this, because 3 people or 1 person doing it puts the implication on a lot of people. Some people went back home, did not log in, did not work online. We can do nothing with them. But see, what happens is then companies bring in productivity enhancement tools so they can track how long were you online. Now, I was not the person who did it, but I also will be monitored now for no reason, right? It makes the organization unfriendly. Now, people don't realize where it came from. See, the story is from both the sides. It's not about only organizations being the evil here. I think by far beyond my expectation of how this industry works or the whole industry works, people have been really empathetic. People have given money just like that. In the beginning, I think March or whatever, I think people just fled to their hometowns without even their laptops or machines or instruments that help them work.
Right.
Organizations have couriered, yeah, and those months, those salaries were fully paid. Are people talking about that? I don't think so. So, like Priya, Avanti, everybody's saying, organizations are doing a lot. It's about, our population is huge. We are a huge number. And therefore, the impact that you see, you may not hear about. But there is a lot good work happening from, what we see. Unfortunate things happen. It should not happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But I think it's up to us, a lot of trust and hope and empathy with the people that we meet next.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dheeraj.
Ankita, if you would just allow me to also add one small perspective there.
Sure.
After that extremely impeccable, discussion by Dheeraj ma'am. I think someone asked about the job scenario, and then we compared the economies of us as compared to the Western country. Just to give a personal example, my very good friend, he has just completed his MS from University of Chicago. And there, this whole concept of placement teams or, college driving your placement, it doesn't exist. There are job fairs, you go there and you network, and that's how you land your job. And in this situation right now, in the past 2 months, he has first received an offer from a leading South Korean, one of the giants in the semiconductor business. He joined that organization, and then within a month itself, he landed another offer from one of the very topmost consulting companies. Again, a global opportunity.
Okay.
And all of this is during this COVID situation. And there is no notion of serving a huge 3-month or 6-month notice period, which we have as a blanket. There it's just a 2-week notice that you serve in a company, and he has already left his company within 1 month and joined a different company. So there the transition is, they do not take this transition as seriously as we do, because of the blanket of 3 months or 6 months that we think we have, and the organization is bound to give us that blanket whenever such a transformation is coming in. So that is one thing. And secondly, probably a lot of our audience would be a part of management institutes, and they would be looking forward to getting some insight so as to how to deal with the situation in a better way. I would just say one important thing that you all need to take back from this discussion is to not be dependent only on your institute or what the placement team is doing. Or, obviously the situation is not very good, but it's in your hands to, now work and try to get it better for you. Don't sit back and just think, yeah, my placement team is probably working on this and they are reaching out to the company and doing XYZ. Probably take things in your hands as well and drive it forward. Yeah.
Correct. Thank
and
you.
just one point, Ankita, I forgot highlighting to Sankalp. Sankalp, I'm just using your name, okay? Just don't mind. Okay. So you also mentioned that, after certain years of experience and after doing a degree, you expect a particular position. Now, Sankalp, remember, it's a choice that you're making. Okay. This is for you and whoever thinks similarly. It's a choice you're making. There is no harm, you still take a job and don't show that experience later. How does it hurt you? But sitting there is not going to help in any way. Okay, working in a particular position, not feeling great about it, it's the need of the hour. Yeah. So if you're getting it, I don't think you should pass it. You can just do what you want, what you're getting in your way, rather than making a choice of not doing anything. Okay, so that's just a thought. We may want to talk again later. There may be more experience that you have about that point. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Ankita.
Right.
So
Thank you.
one point I would like to add,
Who is that?
like
Yeah,
throughout the
Sandeep.
discussion, I may have come across as a very negative person, but that's not.
No, please.
Absolutely
don't say
not.
that.
Absolutely not.
Not at all. Not
Please
at
don't
all.
think
Yeah.
like that.
Come on, not at all.
Everyone has mixed emotions of positive and negative thoughts. On a positive note, I have got chance to work on my own startup. I am working on it, and probably if this pandemic would not have stuck, I would not have got chance to work full time on that thing which I am very passionate about. So this is also a time where one could invest in something which one is really passionate about and create something of their own.
Right.
Lovely. Sankalp, so mean, yeah. You didn't share this before. You just made me talk. Everybody had to hear my rant. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so at this point of time, I also want to ask the audience, in case you have any questions, please start typing on the chat box. I think we have last 15 to 20 minutes, and we would like to incorporate as many questions as possible. Namita, one question you had, which you wanted to ask you. So do you just want to go ahead and ask here so that everyone can understand?
Yeah, actually, I checked with a lot of my friends. They are waiting for their offers. So the offers are confirmed, but their date of joining is there is no communication from the organization. And they are in this dilemma, what should we do? Whether we should look for opportunities, whether we should wait for that offer. Both of them has pros and cons of doing things. So what would be your take, Dheeraj ma'am or Sangeeta ma'am? Like, what should they do?
Okay. They just go for it. I think you'll be able to answer this question.
I'll go for it, and then I'm sounding like your moms, okay? I don't sound like one.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so I think, Namita, you know what? I will do what my heart tells me. I am a very impatient person. I would have gone ahead and looked for another opportunity and found a job for myself. If I don't find a job, I anyways have this offer with me. I'm waiting, right? I'm in a pause. So in a pause state, if you find something, so be it. And if this company is in your destiny, I believe in destiny a lot. It'll come back to you. Okay. So I don't think waiting and wasting your mind share is a great idea. It hurts a lot, yeah. Because especially when you guys are so good at what you have studied and you've been so dedicated to your education and everything that you have done, it is a waste to waste your intelligence and wait for the organization who's figuring out what they want to do. Okay, I wouldn't want to be at the mercy of that organization who's waiting. I don't know if I hope it's not me, but coming back to this, yeah, let's not wait. Yeah, let them feel the pinch when they'll say, oh my God, I lost so many postgrads who were so great. Let us be at the other end of the story. Yeah,
totally agree with you.
Namita, probably, but having listened to Dheeraj ma'am, my just one admission would be just ask your colleagues to keep the institute and the placement team in the loop, because it might be possible that your friend might not be the only person who is placed in that company, and then if the organization takes offense to a student canceling his or her offer without disclosing, then the offers of all those students might be in jeopardy. So I mean, keep everyone informed, and then obviously you can do whatever you want.
Don't mind, but don't mind. Do you take care of the placement in Symbiosis?
Not anymore. Not anymore, ma'am.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, do that. Do all that. It's been long that I was in college. Do all that sanity check before you guys go crazy, yeah?
Right. So there was one question and comment in the chat box, which is about, this is the year where a lot of people are paying attention to their emotional wellness as well. So fitness is something that, people are doing home gymming, and there are cult who have everybody, and a lot of people are joining it. But at the same time, emotional wellness is something that a lot of people are paying attention starting from 2020. So I want to ask this to Sangeeta, in terms of emotional wellness, like there are a lot of things that we can start approaching, but not a lot of people get a gist of how to begin that journey, because just mapping your thoughts and then accepting it is a very big thing. Not a lot of people are able to do it. So if you can just give some tips or some hacks as to how do we go and how do we begin with this journey of doing that.
So I think firstly you should look at your mind as a software program, right? So it all depends on how you lead yourself that it's not possible, times are very challenging, there's no bright future for me, and all such negative thoughts. that is what you're telling yourself. These are excuses. You're hiding yourself. You're hiding yourself underneath this, and these are stories that you're spinning for your own self. And it starts off like a small web, and then it grows and grows, and you're always undermining your own potential. Whereas if you start feeding yourself positive thoughts, and then as I said, start looking for solutions to see how you can actually overcome them, I think that makes a lot of difference. So I would say, look at your mind, as a software program. So what kind of code are you writing? Are you feeding it with positivity and making your mind work for you, right, the way you want it? So that should be the way you approach, is what I think.
Right. Thank you, Sangeeta. I think Rahul has asked part 2 of the question, saying, is there any difference between mental and emotional wellness?
Yes, there's a subtle difference. Like mental is more when you're activating your brains, your thought process, when you're thinking through it. And so that's more the head, and emotional is the heart, where you're actually thinking from the heart. So that is the difference. Both are important, and of course, physical fitness as well. So I always say all aspects of fitness are important, financial fitness, spiritual fitness. So every aspect is what makes it perfect.
Right.
And Sangeeta, this is what COVID does to you. Rahul is asking the difference between mental and emotional health. Ask him 6 months back in his college, was he even thinking about this?
Very true.
Oh God.
So I think I want to utilize this last 10 minutes in understanding, in case we have any questions from batch of 2020. Garima or Namita, Priya, do you have any questions or any inputs from your side that you want to throw at the audience and at our industry leaders as well? Is there anything that you want to ask, you want to kind of clarify? Yeah.
So some of my friends, actually, I asked them what all they're facing right now. So they were right now, even the unicorns are firing. So in such a scenario, would it be a good idea to join a startup right now in this situation?
Okay.
I will go for that because so wherever you're getting an opportunity, and if it's something of interest, just go for it. It's better than sitting at home and then thinking what through. At least you're getting some experience, because this firing and all this is happening even for people with a lot of experience. So you might as well make the most of what is available. Just make hay while sun shines. You're getting what you want, you're getting experience, and you can always take a better jump later on. Right. So if you're getting a good opportunity, something that's of interest to you, don't just take it up for the sake of taking it. But if it is something that's of interest to you, just go for it.
And we spoke, right, Namita, you can share with your friends that, they can pick up startups which service or are a part of a chain of the world that is growing, of the part of the business that's growing. You can take that intelligent decision rather than going for any startup. If you want to calculated decision making, you can do a bit of homework there. But frankly, something is better than nothing, according to me and according to my generation gray cells that I have. So, so I think people should just go ahead and do something here.
Then a part 2 to that question, since I have Sangeeta ma'am and Dheeraj ma'am, which can give me 2 different perspectives, probably every one of us can be enlightened. So I always thought, I'm admitting it very frankly, and please anyone don't mind me admitting it, but I always thought that the cultural fit was just a term, it's just a glorified term, and there is no backdrop to it. Because we heard this term a lot during our placement processes in online, right? And the HRs focused on the cultural fit bit, which we could never, never understand, because there was no number attached to it, or there was no metric attached to it. But having joined an organization and having my friends have also, they are also now part of organizations, I have seen 1 or 2 instances where after joining an organization, and probably I might not name the organizations, but they are some recent organizations which are not doing very good during COVID. The situation inside the organization was not very good and conducive, and then one thing led to the other, and the students needed to, had to part ways from the organization within 2 months of joining that. And everything was driven because the thoughts or views of the higher management were not being echoed by the joiners, the new joiners, right? It was not due to any financial conditions or anything like that. And that is probably something which I might relate to a cultural fit bit, which I thought earlier was very trivial. even think about. So having now seen the situation, and now the driving force behind all of this discussion is look for opportunities online, etc., etc. How do you reconcile that, and how do you reconcile the point that after joining an organization, such an issue might come up, and it might then add to the emotional pressure or the mental pressure that I was facing before even joining the organization? Because there are a lot of instances which I read on LinkedIn, and a lot of friends who are facing this. So just an open question.
So first, stop feeding yourself all this negativity.
I'm not.
No, so anyway, yeah, sure. Jokes apart, see, this is all bound to happen, irrespective of the pandemic or the lockdown or whatever. These things are, in a way, kind of inevitable in any organization at any level, right? So you just have to see, as long as, what I say is, as long as you're able to add a lot of value to the organization, if you're really a contributor, if you're being a team player, and ensuring that you're adding on to the either the top line or the bottom line of an organization, everything else becomes secondary. I know in few organizations where juniors, when I say juniors, just people with 1 or 2 years experience, freshers who joined as freshers, and then they were working for like about a year or so. The entire organization was dependent on them for a lot of things. So they kept getting promoted very often. The salary hikes happened, double, triple. Of course, they started at a rather low level. But I'm saying the kind of growth was phenomenal. So see, how is it that you're adding value? If you just look at, getting value for yourself by having this, job, and, putting the company as a, adding value to your brand, which is fine, but it has to be a win-win. You also have to give. So only then your potential is recognized, and then, irrespective of all such, the things that are happening within the organization as well, you become the star. So that is important, and have all your communications channels open. Many organizations, what happens is people work in silos. Then the entire team is not fully involved, and nobody knows what is happening and all that. So see if you can break these silos and work together more as a team, because I think the best comes out in teams than just being an individual player.
Right.
So I'll just add to my perspective there, Rahul. So there are two things, okay? You spoke about cultural alignment and the fitment and how critical it was and how you realized. I'm happy you realized it, okay? So it is supremely critical, man. It is supremely critical. I can do away with one chapter in your MBA, but I cannot do away with the attitude, the attributes, the behavior that I bring to the organization, okay? So because I'm a whole body and I'm a whole one person, it cannot be split personality behavior, okay? What happens is, in my experience, what I've observed, I also want to give you guys a little feedback with respect to the kind of PGs and postgrad programs that you guys have been doing from fantastic colleges. One thing that I have always, sort of felt that I wish, students get this, because when people join organizations, there are people with a lot of experience, okay? And no matter how much you study, unless you work, that experience, no college can put in you. Trust me that. No college can put that education into a book and say that, when this happens to you, this is the way you behave. Okay, that's not going to come there. Your value system, your belief system, your culture holistically makes you a human being, and that is what comes to an organization. Now, what happens to, I'm talking in the context of the people that you just mentioned who couldn't continue and had to leave. I think you should worry about two things very critically when you join an organization. One is cultural alignment. And second is, when you are joining as a fresher or after education, after a break, even if it is a 2 years break for learning, okay, be like a sponge. You absorb whatever you see. There are two things you can learn. One is what to do. Second is what not to do, right? You don't have to criticize. If you don't like something, register it in your catalog, not to do. If you like something, register in your catalog that this is something I would like to do and I would like to learn further, and dwell on that. What happens is, when people come from colleges, sometimes these startups and all, or any other organization, culturally, it's not the culture issue. It is mostly about when it becomes my word against your word. I have a perspective against your perspective. That is the basic conflict in the whole world. It's not even about college and students and corporates. That's why I always say, a friend of mine used to talk about zero conflict zone. So you talk about zero conflict zone. Talk about this object in question, the work in question. Don't talk about Rahul did this, but Dheeraj did this, but I feel this is. Point of view and belief is never wrong. Always, when you're talking in an organization, you always say, I believe, if we do it this way, in my perspective, in my point of view, this is what I believe. Then people will not challenge you. But the moment you say, no, I don't think this will work, gone. You will be judged because you are a fresher. You have, people have more right to judge you according to them, which is wrong. But that's how it is, because majority of people out there are experienced and they keep worrying about, yaar, ye log abhi aaye hain. They don't even understand where we are coming from, what the whole damn business and cycle is all about, what profit margin is, what PAT is, what gross margin is, what is super gross margin. It is all read and studied, no? But when you really execute, you will see how the calculations happen. How do people manipulate that in order to make profits? Okay, so I think when you experience, Rahul, I would want to hear from you how you felt, okay, when you really go back and work in a corporate, okay? But I think alignment with people, relationship management, super critical, super duper critical. If you're able to manage relationships, you don't need to send emails to get your job done, trust me. The moment you have to send emails to get your job done, in my mind, something is wrong with your relationship. Okay, so so think like that. Build relationships, build networks. Culture apne aap align ho jayega. Okay.
Thank you, Dheeraj. I think Deepak has another meeting to attend, so he will be leaving us in this discussion. Thank you so much, Deepak, for joining in today. And I think we are also reaching towards the end of our discussion. While I say that, we actually covered multiple topics which were concerning to the batch of 2020 and coming batch of 2021 as well. I hope whoever attended the session, it was useful. You could take back some pointers, some insights, some learnings. Dheeraj and Sangeeta have been extremely helpful in building this entire session with all of us. So thank you so much for doing that. And I'm sure in case you, the audience, if you have any additional questions, you can shoot it at us. We will make sure that we get the answers from the industry experts for you. So we will do that. Having said that, all the other panelists, thank you so much for joining in today's session. I'm not going to leave. I'm going to ask you for your entire experience for this before we go. But I just want to thank you all and gratitude to every one of you who attended today's session, and I hope it was fruitful to you as well.
Ankita, just before we leave, thank you to Aditya as well. He has been, coordinating with each and every one of us on the backdrop, and he's not been on the forefront. Yeah,
the entire the team of Shane who has been doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Aditya.
So, any last words, you guys, you want to just shoot there before we close the session? Anyone can go. Anyone. Garima, go for it. What did you think of this entire experience, and do you think this discussion is going to be helpful for people?
Yeah, so I would say it was like, it gave me somewhere like a lot of energy to move forward. And yes, like, yeah, I think I do have more motivation towards approaching everything now. And yeah, that will be it.
Thank you very much. Any one of you want to go next?
I just want to say one thing, that I want everyone on this call to leave this call with a feeling of hope that, nothing is lost. We still can do something. So that is one thing I want everyone to, have as a takeaway, key takeaway.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else?
Yeah, yes, sure. So thank you all. It was a pleasure to meet everybody and, hear the perspectives of students and Dheeraj, of course. So it was very nice. So sorry, I have to hang up now. If it is all right, then I would like to take leave and wish you guys all the very best. Just rock on in whatever you do.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good luck. Right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. All the best. Batch of 2020. You shall rock and you shall be remembered by all the generations who are going to come. So take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Okay, Garima, I like your smile. Stay happy. Okay. And we are all on LinkedIn. If you wish to connect and wish to have a chat, I'm happy to do so. Take care of yourself, guys. And thanks Shenzhen. You guys doing a fantastic job by collaborating with so many people. I have learned so much from these youngsters, and I'm going to go and take back this to my team and tell them how people feel today. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Team Shenzhen, you guys have done a very good job in connecting the industry with the students. So, and I'm sure the team 2021, the batch is really going to rock in, because once you overcome these challenges, I'm sure you know how to handle other challenges that could come your way. So look at it in a positive note and keep up the sunny side. And like Dheeraj said, yeah, happy to connect on LinkedIn. I also have my YouTube channel. It's called Sang Shasum. It's an abbreviation of my name. So I keep sharing some knowledge here and there. So if you're into YouTube, do subscribe, and good luck. All the best, folks. Bye.
Thank you, Sangeeta. So before we closing, to all the audience, I want to say that as an initiative to kind of help the freshers and the college students to get adjusted well in the industry, we have started something like a pilot program, which basically when we are choosing women representative, college student representatives from different colleges, and we are making sure that they are bringing the insights from the college students, their challenges, their insights of what do they want to learn. And the pilot people are going to be the first from Shenzhen who will get the entire exclusive access to our mentorship programs, to whatever new initiatives that we are bringing in. So in case if you are still in college, if you want to apply for it, all the details have been uploaded on our LinkedIn page. So do check it out. And we are expecting some really good pilots coming from the colleges, so that the entire gap between the industry and college can be bridged in some or the other way. So I encourage you to go and check out that program as well. Having said that, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion. It was I personally really enjoyed it and learned a lot of new things, and hopefully we'll be able to pass these learnings to our other audiences as well. This session has been recorded. You can see it going on YouTube in a couple of days. So if you want to share it in your circles who couldn't attend today's session, please go ahead and do that. I hope it will be helpful for them as well. And thank you so much. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Thank you all. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.